Okay. So for those that have joined later, we will start in a little while showing how to map and how to reach the projects. So don't worry, we will go in some minutes there.
Yes, and for those of you that already know how to map, you can start. We don't have any preference on the projects. It's just choose the ones with like more things to do, basically. I'm waiting. I'm still at Phil. I don't know if there is somebody else. Progetto? Ah, del hashtag. Yes. Io sono fermo. I'm at S. I don't know who is S. Joanna. Don't need to not look. So if it is everybody, I mean, it's just Phil, Marta, Alejandro, Chantel that needs the Turkish breakout room. Just I want to confirm so that we can start.
My keyboard.
And to be clear, this is a breakup room in Turkish, not from Turkish to English.
That's all. So only these 4 participants.
No, well, Chantel is not a part of that group.
Okay, Chantel, no. So I'm wondering whether, okay. Chantel is not. Okay. Somebody else? Okay, apparently it's fine. So I will. So Alejandro, Marta.
Yes, and one of us.
Phil. One of us, but we don't know Turkish.
No, but they will translate what we will say.
Who wants to go there?
Means the same here, Severan.
Yeah, I can go there to do the translation.
Seda?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Seda
let
can
me
translate.
search your name, sorry.
Sure, no, it's Seda. It's okay, no worries.
Yeah, I'm searching in the list here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Room 1. Room 1.
Must be difficult.
Yeah.
100 people. 200.
And also MD Sakib. Okay, room 1. And one of us. So Sevran, Raquel, who wants to go? Or Oscar? Oscar, you want to go?
It's fine.
It's fine. So Oscar can send you there. Okay. So I will assign the people, and in theory, you will be redirected without notice to the room. So I hope this will not cause any problem. Can you confirm? Apri. So I hope everything is going to be fine. We have 270 participants right now and still joining. Okay, I see Oscar disappeared together with probably the Turkish speakers. So probably it went good. Okay. I will to go in the collapse building room. We don't have the collapse building room, but I will just go through the very basic mapping. But the most experts, like they can go directly to the map roulette project, and this one is about collapsed buildings, so you can start from there. But me on my side, I will just cover, let's say, the procedure on how to create an account, how to go to Tasking Manager projects and start the editing. So I will go from now. Yes, people are lost, I know. Okay, let me start from the beginning so we can go step by step. The first thing is to log into or to create an account on OpenStreetMap. So to do it, we just have to go to openstreetmap.org. I send the link in the chat, and you go here on top right, sign up, and we have to put our information. So to register our mail, confirm the mail, choose the display name, which will be the nickname that we are going to use in OpenStreetMap, and then password, and we confirm the password. So we will have to accept, let's say, a confirmation mail from from OpenStreetMap, and in this way we are going to create the account. I don't know how many of you still need an account, because we were also writing in Eventbrite to create an account, but in case you don't have, just write in the chat, and once some of you are ready, we can go ahead. So we'll just give some time to do the account, if it is fine for you. Otherwise, I can go on. Created the account, ready, done, ready. Okay, so I will just go on because I guess most of us, okay, perfect, thank you. So the next step is to log in the tasking manager, the OSM tasking manager. This one is the instance from the humanitarian OpenStreetMap team. I will, you sign up, I think you can log in with the OSM account, yeah. So you see here, there are my credentials, I log in. And I'm signed in, so I can see the different projects. Let me see. Now I want to share the projects that we are going to map today, which are these ones. So you can see the first URL are all the Tasking Manager projects within Türkiye, and the second one is all the projects in Syria. So we can click on Türkiye. And you see, we have many projects. We have to choose one, let's say, with many things to map. So I will say, ideally, these two with the, let's say, the light gray bar here, and also this one, because those, they have a lot of map that is already mapped, a lot of data that is already mapped, and some data that is also validated. So I will prioritize those with more mapping needed, let's say. So I will take, as an example, I will say this one I can take, but it's fine. You can choose even those in Syria. And once we click there, you see we are in the page of the project. So we have a description of the event, and you see here we have a map. There are like some logs here, and these logs are contributors that are in this moment contributing to the mapping in this area. So the let's say philosophy behind this tool is that people are let's say reserving one area. So they will download the OSM data in that area and they will edit there. So if we all coordinate through this project, we know that we won't map in the same area at the same time. So it's just a way to coordinate with each other. And I will say, okay, of course, you see these red areas. These red areas are like the areas that are most vulnerable. So probably there are big cities here, and we can start from these tasks, even though like I'm sure you find something to do even in all the others. That's it. So if we want to start contributing, we have to click down below to the bottom right, contribute.
Miguel, sorry.
Yes.
Some mappers are writing that the projects are for intermediate mappers, but I think that they are enabled for all users. It should be so. I tried yesterday with a new account just to be a beginner, and I was able to map in some projects. So maybe if you are not able to map in a project, let's try to another one. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, some projects are restricted depending on the experience of the user, and it is counted by the number of chainsets submitted to OSM. Like those ones too in Syria. Easy. Yeah, I mean, it is, but some of them, even though they are like available to everybody. Anyway, let me know if, yes, I couldn't do all of some of them, they are for beginners. Okay, so I will suggest maybe you can choose the ones for beginners in this list that I shared with you. And let's see, maybe we can see in a second moment like which projects are for beginners so that everybody can edit. So for the time being, let me just show what is the procedure. Very easy. So I have to ensure down below here to select the editor. So we have JOSM, which is like a desktop application that is usually used by expert mappers. And also we have this RAP ID, which is like a version of the browser editor of OSM ID editor, but enhanced with AI. So through this one, we can select, let's say, buildings that are already identified by let's say, machine learning algorithms. I will click here. So let's select a RAP ID for the time being, and we click map selected task. So we select one task here, and we click map selected task. So we are okay. Discard my changes for the time being. We are now seeing the ID editor. So this is basically one of the latest Maxar imagery, but is pre-earthquake, so we won't see the buildings that are collapsed. But you see, we have like these purple borders that are like the building footprints, basically. And these are already let's say, determined by AI algorithms. This RAP ID was developed, I think, by, don't remember now, I will say Facebook, no? If I'm not wrong, but I ask for confirmation. And anyway, like you see, like we have already the building footprints there, already mapped. Some of them, of course, you see like this one, they are not pretty correct, so we will have to refuse some of them. But let's see how we can map. So, for example, we see here a building. What we have to do is to click on the purple area. And if we are okay with the geometry, we just click on use this feature, or we can even use the shortcut A, so that the geometry and the tags are already applied. So once we are there, we selected the geometry, but as you can see, let's say the position is not correct. So we have to move this object. And in this case, we can click with the right click on the border of the polygon, and we just click move. So we can move the feature. Otherwise, we can use shortcut M to move it. So, for example, we created a building like this. We just created the polygon. We assigned the semantic information. So we say this is a building, and we moved it in the correct position. Let's say maybe now I want to map this other building here, but I will do it the old-fashioned with ID editor. The old-fashioned style is just to click area here. So we are saying to the editor that we are drawing a polygon, and we just click with the cursor the footprint of the building. So while we are tracing buildings, we just define the footprint. So we are not mapping the roof, but we are mapping, I mean, where the building is touching the ground. So in this case, we created a polygon without any information. You see here we have area, and we have to say this is a building. So we click on the polygon and we click then on building here. So we created our geometry, but another good practice in buildings, I mean, when we are mapping buildings, is to orthogonalize them. So to have like squares of 90 degrees, because like as the way we map buildings, and usually they have squared corners. So we click with the right click on the border like we did before, and we just click square. Otherwise, we can use the shortcut Q. So these are the two ways, very briefly. Let's see that maybe we have like something that has been detected by the AI, but we want to refuse it. We just click ignore this feature or shortcut D. So this one is going away. Just for your information, whatever is in purple here is not a feature on OSM, but every feature on OSM has to be validated by volunteers or by, let's say, the community. So it is very important that all the data that we put into OSM is data that we can verify on the ground. So in this case, we have the imagery, we see the building, and we can accept, let's say, this data here. It's generally the same procedure we do with imports of data. If we want to do some imports, before we have to organize the import activity with the community, so to get in touch with the mailing list of OSM, and then we have to organize crowdsourced imports. So the community has to be able to access the data and to verify it on the ground. This is the let's say the procedure. I will just go on. So I see this building is fine to me. I use this feature, and then I can move it with M, and I put it a little bit here.
Miguel, there is a question in the chat.
Yes.
So we have to double check the AI output and square it. Will it save building by building automatically? So I think if they must square it and if the tag is there and so on.
I think these are already squared to my knowledge, but we can try. No, yes, I think they are already squared and the tag is also already applied. But you see, sometimes the building footprint is not very precise, so we have to modify it. So we can click on the vertex and move it to the footprint. And then we can click Q to orthogonalize it, because of course, modifying it, we are losing the orthogonality, and so we have to do it. Anyway, all these ping footprints that we see here, they are not final, so they are just suggestions by the AI, and we can just, okay, I mean, we have to basically, if we are not mapping it, they won't be on OSM. Another question that I saw in the chat was speaking about the shape files. OSM is not a shapefile, it's a XML, so extended markup language. And this, let's say, a more, let's say, is a kind of data format that is good to use because it's not relational. So it is modifiable over time. I mean, the community can propose new tags or new ways to map things because the format is very flexible. And this is like a good thing for the for this kind of open data. I don't know if there are any other questions for the time being, Rachele, in the chat.
So, but the edits we make on the feature is saved automatically.
No, indeed, now I will show how to submit the chain set, which is like, I think, the most important thing, because what we are doing here is just to edit some building footprints, but they are still not on OSM. I mean, let's say that now we are compiling a chain set, and we have basically to submit this set of changes to the database in OSM. So what we have to do from the ID editor is to go on the top right here. We can do it at any time, even if we didn't finish the task in this moment. We click save. And you see here we have a chain set comment that has already compiled by the tasking manager with the information about the project and some hashtags. So these hashtags are useful for the community to understand what's going on here and to identify mapping campaigns. So usually a good chain set comment practice is also to describe by words what we did. But I will say, if you want, you can just add the UN mappers so that we can also track, let's say, the edits from this mapathon that we are having together. And I will add just for the sake of completeness, I mapped 3 buildings in this area. I mean, it could be even less precise, but it's like just to give an idea of what we have been doing in this chain set. So this is the comment. Is very important because it's like the main metadata information about the chain set, and then we just click upload, and this data is going to OpenStreetMap. So when somebody in the community would like to validate this data, what they have to do is just to download the data, modify it, and resubmit to OpenStreetMap. Like, for example, in this case, we'll finish. In this case, you see we have some buildings here. These are already mapped by somebody else in the community. So if I see, for example, that these footprints are not very fine to me, I just move them. So the data is already downloaded, and I'm just modifying it there. So let's say I modified the position of these 3 buildings. I just click on save. I can say, okay, hashtag UN mappers. Whoop. And I can say I moved the 3 building. Upload. So these changes will be in OSM.
Okay,
that's it.
Another question. Should we edit or create a new area?
In which sense?
If you see, for example, a building that is not in the rapid DD.
Yes, definitely. If, for example, this one is not detected by the AI, we have to map it in the ID editor way. So we just click area, we draw the building footprint here, double click to close the polygon, and then we assign the building information. So we have now a polygon with, let's say, semantic information. We click Q to orthogonalize, otherwise right click on the border, square, and that's it. So this is mapped in the old fashion. And if we want to use the one from AI, just click on the purple, use this feature, and move it to the right location. You can also rotate. So if we click right on the border, we can see, we can flip a polygon, but also rotate. So you see, I can rotate the building and match the footprint.
Okay, so will beginner edits be peer reviewed?
Usually, yes. I mean, all these projects on the tasking manager. Okay, let me show maybe another thing. Let me just submit this small chain set. I'm sorry that I'm submitting so small chain sets, but it's just for sake of completeness. I mapped a couple of buildings. I upload. One important thing in the tasking manager is also to, let's say, update the status of your task. So let's say that here I did some editing, but I don't know, maybe I have to leave this mapathon, I have something else to do. So I cannot finish to edit all the buildings. I have to say that this task has not completely mapped. So this is important because whenever a task is finished, so I mapped all the buildings, I just click yes. Another thing is like be careful because in this project, I mean, the project is saying to map buildings, so we are looking for that. And also roads, actually, you see. So we consider a task to be completely mapped only when all the roads and all the buildings have been mapped. Like some tasks may ask for waterways, for example. So in that case, we are not mapping buildings, but only waterways. And we consider a task be finished only when waterways are mapped. But yeah, in this case, it's not the case here. We are mapping roads and buildings. So I say, no, it's not completely mapped. I can also write a comment like, I mapped some buildings and you submit the task. So you see, we are coming back to the previous interface here. So we have the still the projects, and the task that I was editing is actually white. So it's available for mapping for other contributors. If I want to validate some data contributed by other people, I can take one that has been completely mapped. So in this case, ready for validation, I can take this one. I have also to specify that validation is restricted to expert users in this project. So it's like only intermediate and expert mappers can validate. And this is like a decision of the project manager. In this case, it's OSM Türkiye. So they decided like this, and I think it's a good choice. Another option is to split the task. So in the previous interface before submitting the data, you can even split a task in 4 so that you can, like, if you feel that one area has too many things to map, you can just split it and people can take smaller tasks from there.
Okay, we have a lot of questions here, so
yes.
we can go on with the next one. How can we be sure this building is collapsed?
Okay, so as I was saying before, there are 2 mapping activities going on in this moment on OSM. One is mapping all the buildings before the event, and the other one is to map, let's say, to add the information that the building has collapsed. This is done through another tool, MapRoulette. So in this case, the data is the same. We are taking the data from OSM here, but we are just, our goal in this kind of crowdsourced project is to add the collapsed information tag. So it's like building equal to collapse. I mean, here there is the overview of the tags that we want to say with the latest information. I will say this one is only for expert users. So like if you are at the very beginning with OSM, I would not suggest to do this activity. But if you already know how to edit and how to manage tags, so to add this kind of information to an existing building, so please go ahead. You have the link here. Maybe I can share it again. And you can take it from there. Did I answer the question? I hope it was fine.
Yes, I think it was fine. So does everything need a descriptive tag?
Yes, no, I mean, it depends. It depends on what you're mapping, because like, I mean, if you map with relations, which is another, I mean, difficult OSM objects, you may map things that are not like carrying tags by their own, but they are described by the relation. But like in most, like 99% of the cases, yes, almost all the OSM objects need information attached to it. So it's like mapping a building without the building information is wrong.
Okay, so how can we identify whether an object has been edited by others?
From ID, I don't know. let me check. Let me check another task. So I'm just doing the same, opening one project with many buildings here. I was speaking with OSM Türkiye, and they were telling me like more than 80% of the buildings were missing in this area. So there wasn't like much OSM data in this area at all. So how can we know a building has been mapped by another user? So let's take this mosque. We see the building, and we see also the the building here. You see Muslim mosque.
At the bottom, Michael.
From the
At the very bottom.
This one view, yes, of course. You can see, for example, the ID editor is saying which users are editing usually in this area. I mean, the latest users that edited here. So if you click, you can go to their OpenStreetMap user pages, like this one. Otherwise, if you go on down below the bottom left here, view on OpenStreetMap, you can see the object that has been mapped by Nazim. You can also view the history. So in case you see this object was already existing 2 years ago, but the same user, Nazim, 1 year later has modified it. Changing building yes to building mosque. So this is like how you can access the history of a OpenStreetMap object. As I was saying before, you see like here we don't have any building, but from our editor, here is full because the AI is detecting, but they are not on OSM. It's just a guess that we have to validate.
Okay, I see there's a little bit of confusion about what we are mapping. So if it's after or before or after the event. So Michael is doing a mapping on the prefacto place. So we are mapping the buildings as they were before. So with the map roulette, then you map the damaged buildings. So in this case, we are mapping all what we see that is there, because this is useful when we go then to the post facto mapping, so that we will be adding the damaged buildings. Okay, so if you please can show again how to add the comment with the hashtag at the end.
Yes, of course. Let me, you can use also shortcuts here. You just click guess, click A to validate, M to move. So you can become very quick after some time. But yes, let me show again how to submit the chain set to OSM. We go on the top right here, save. We have the chain set comment. And we add, I add the hashtag mappers. Feel free to add it if you want. And yes, I mapped a couple of buildings as well. So this is my comment. There are some hashtags that are the identifiers automatically added by the project in the tasking manager. And then we can add other hashtags to identify the activity, like other mapping campaigns. And then it's good practice to put a sentence saying briefly what you did. And then we click up to upload. So that's it. One comment is that if we don't do this, our work is going wasted, basically. So we are editing, but nothing will go on OpenStreetMap, so it's better to do it.
Okay, should we add car parking spots as well?
It's not requested by the projects, so I will just add the roads and building footprints.
I see that someone had an error sign when I'm about to map selected task. What caused that? So it depends, I think, Mikael.
Let me, maybe they can share a screenshot.
Yeah, it's better. So is there different map projections we have to choose from? which may describe the slightly off building footprints.
Sorry?
So is there different map projections we have to choose from, which may describe the slightly off building footprints?
The map projection on OSM is VGS 84. It's like, I mean, it's not a cartographic projection, it's just geographic coordinates. So there is, I mean, one who is using OSM data, they can download the data. There are several features, several platforms to do that. You download the data, and once you have it, you can project it in a GIS software. So you just deal it like with other, vectorial geographic data.
Thank you. Should we also map roads?
Yes, the project is saying so. Let me show how. So, for example, yeah, because here it's very dense of roads. Let's say I want to map this part of road that is not mapped, this connector. I will click line. So it's a bit different from areas. I then click on a existing road, because all the roads have to be connected one with each other, so that, I mean, routing algorithms can actually use them. And I put the vertices by clicking on the map and double click when I want to finish the road. So in this case, I have like some tags that I have to assign to the road, as you can see. So I will put residential road as we are inside a residential area. Roads are pretty complicated to map, because like you have to consider the hierarchy of the roads, the purpose of one road in the network. So it's like usually it requires more time than like a small mapathon like this one to learn. But we are covering it within the Learning Hub. So in case you are interested, you can check it later. I mean, how to best map roads.
So what I have to do if a road I'm mapping goes beyond my area?
Okay, let me find a case in my project, in my task, sorry. I was mapping elsewhere. Here. Okay, let's say I have one road that is going outside my task. So the good practice usually is to map it a little bit outside the task. So you just finish just after the task. Why? Because like the user that will map nearby to you will download the data only inside the let's say the task. So whether, I mean, this is true for JOSM. I don't know if it is true for ID, because I see there is data even outside. But that is the practice. You just put it a little bit outside, and then who is taking the other task will download this piece, and they will know to finish the road later on.
Okay, so which background map should we use?
Good question. This one, the one suggested by OSN Türkiye seems to be Maxar Premium. But if you click here on the icon with the layers, you can choose whatever. I was reading some questions about the offset of the satellite imagery. This can be changed. Historically, like for many years, OSM data has been traced over Bing maps. And so like there could be some offsets. So if you see that the OSM data is very offsetted with respect to the satellite imagery, you just modify the offset of the imagery. How to do it? I don't know. From ID, we click on imagery offset, and I can move the imagery by clicking these arrows.
No, you can also hold your click in the middle and you move.
Ah, okay, yes. So you see, I can align the imagery. So, I mean, I would say I would recommend to change the offset only aligning, I mean, if you see like misalignment to the main features like roads, and not to the single buildings, of course. But I mean, usually it's fine. You just need to align when you see that is very offsetted. Yeah, this is the way. And yes, and one comment is that usually I prefer to offset the satellite image with respect to the OSM data, so that we are like minimizing the number of offsets that we are inserting, let's say, in the database. That's like the comment.
Okay, so when mapping buildings, we should focus on the roofs or on the bases?
The basis, because the footprint has to be the base. Like if we see a very tall building, like for example, this mosque, what we need to do is to put it at the base like I do here. So we map the footprint and not the roof. I mean, the roof will be something like here, but it's not correct because, I mean, the level, let's say the base map is from the base. so it's from the ground. Otherwise, I can have like offset, especially if I'm using this data for 3D visualization. That could be an issue.
Okay, can you talk a little bit about how the maps will be used once UN Mappers, Turkey, Syria, and so on has accepted them?
Sorry, how?
I think how the data will be used.
Well, you know, like the point is that we are editing the data now, and many people are doing as well, like other NGOs, other companies. So the philosophy, let's say, behind the OSM is that we are editing all together the data, and the data is there. So if you want to use it, or like some local community also would like to use it, is there and it's freely available to anybody to use for whatever purpose. Usually in this kind of context, the buildings are downloaded. And in humanitarian context, usually they are used also for population estimation. So depending on the number of buildings, you can kind of estimate the population in a quick way. Another thing, like in this case, rescue. So once the other project, this one is locating the collapsed buildings. I mean, you can understand like what are the areas that are most impacted, and the rescuers can do like kind of logistics.
Okay, thank you. So it's better to add geometry where we are unsure about the building, or to leave it without any geometry? So it says some buildings identified are very hard to see with the resolution. So if you are not sure if the building is there or not.
I will say the comment here is to map only if you are sure, like not to add information that you are not sure about. But like there are, I mean, this is my suggestion.
Okay, a quick question about the type of road classification. I saw that they had put 3 types of roads, so maybe you can explain the 3 types. Well,
here I was finding many.
Yeah, I mean in the instructions.
In the instructions, it depends if we have the same project.
Yeah, if you scroll down.
Yes. Whoop. Tags: highway residential, highway unclassified, and highway service. So these are like 3 types that we are using here. Residential is whatever road is usually within a land use residential area. So like in this case, we are in a town and we are mapping the residential roads. But we may have highway service. This is very particular because it could be even within a residential context, let's say, but is the one connecting a building, let's say, to the residential road. So it's like the service road of the house. Let me see if I can find an example. I'm not finding an example now, but I found before. Usually, like, okay, you know, you have maybe the garden, and the building is not right in the connected to the. Okay, like, okay, we'll say probably this little piece here from the gate until the house. This will be highway service, because it's like connecting the building to the residential road. But this one is not a residential road per se. And then we have highway unclassified. This one are collector roads that are connecting cities and towns. So usually they can pass through residential areas, but they are most likely like connecting towns. So for example, this road, I would say, is unclassified because it's connecting this small village, Alay Bailey, to here.
Okay, how you can remove a node from a road?
A node.
Yes.
You
A
can
single
zoom
node.
in. Yes. We have to zoom into the road. We select one road. So to select an object, to select one road, I just click on the road. So to select, okay, let's rephrase. If I have to enter the selection, I just don't have to click on any of the editing features buttons. So I just plain like this. I click on an object, and you see the object is highlighted, but I can see one vertex here. So I just click the vertex and I drag and drop the mouse here, so I can move the things. So in this way, I'm moving the vertices of one road. Let's say there is another road here, which is, I'm not even sure it is. I would like to remove the AI, but I don't know how. Do you remember? Shift R, yes. Oop. Yes, to check if we click Shift R, we can disable the AI and see the real buildings.
And from the menu of Rapid there, in the upper side, you can also choose to see only buildings or only
okay.
The roads, yes, from there.
Okay, so it's both Facebook and Microsoft, you see? It's like providing buildings and roads. Yeah, as I always mention, these are AI extracted features. So you see, like, footprints can be very offset, even because like the AI could be run not on the same imagery. Like in this case, I think it is on Bing. And also the shapes may be not correct or maybe outdated. So it's just better to validate like with human eye every time. That's it.
Okay, so next questions. Can we choose multiple buildings with the AI and add them to the map?
No, apparently no. I mean, this is something that I also discovered 10 minutes ago, but no, apparently no. It's just one by one, which is tedious. Like sometimes you may want to do faster, and for that you can use JOSM or other software. But unfortunately, like for this time is like too few. I mean, it's too short. This meeting to show JOSM, so this is like much more. I mean, it requires more time than ID. ID is just like to do some mapping together and to show, I mean, the utility of these open data.
Okay, should we map also very small building structures?
I mean, in my opinion, would be best to map the main ones, like not focus on on the small structures. Oh, here I didn't put the tag.
Okay, should we accept the roads already mapped in our working data?
If they are correct, yes, why not?
Okay. Is it best to overmap or undermap? This is a tricky question.
Well, this is it depends on what is your goal. Like if we are mapping, for example, for topographic features, and maybe we are not very interested in mapping buildings at all, for example, or we want to like not over extract information. But it really depends on the like on your task, because if you're using OpenStreetMap to edit, I don't know, POI's information, that in that case, I mean, you may want to be more precise. So it depends. Usually, I mean, it's better not to over extract, because if you have a lot of data, it's difficult to update and maintain. But if you have less data, I mean, probably is even like not very descriptive. So you want to find like a way in the middle.
Okay, so maybe with this question, we can show how, when we have adapt about how to map something, which tag to use. So what is the label, the tag for collapsed buildings?
Okay, let me submit the chain set here. And I don't know, maybe if you want to show the map roulette, some of you, I mean, just not to capitalize the meeting. I mean, if you want also to show, but yes, and let me submit the chain set, added buildings, upload. And then here, let me close the task. Okay, for this one, I can also skip the comment. And the comment is important for the OSM chain set for sure. Map roulette. So here you see we have a list of tags that are suggested for the collapsed. So I can copy and paste in the chat. Building equal to collapsed. Damage 2 dots event. Damage date and damage type earthquake. Earthquake 2 dot damage, yes. So like there are several tags. Of course, on OSM we can add whatever we want, because the data model is flexible, no? So it's giving us infinite opportunities, so we can write whatever we want. But of course, the community is like letting survive, let's say, only the most used tags. So building collapsed, this one. Otherwise, use this one. Yes, otherwise, okay, you can add like damage event to a building equal to yes, but the building equal to collapse is the tag that we are using. So what is the purpose here? We download the OSM data. We see that buildings are already mapped from these other mapping activities on the tasking manager. So the goal of that map roulette is to change the tag building equal to yes to building equal to collapsed to identify the collapsed buildings. That's it. Map roulette. I don't know who would like to share. Maybe I don't know, Rachele, Sevran, or Alessandro, Marco.
Sorry, I'm collecting the questions.
Yeah.
In the chat. So.
Otherwise, I can go ahead. Yes, there are no no volunteers. I need to participate. Grant access. So we see here some statistics about the task. start. Oops, he's finished. Find challenges. I mean, if you click on find challenges, you find other projects in Map Roulette, so you can choose others. Let's try with this one, no task. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. They're just getting completed so fast.
No task. Yeah, this is because there are not more tasks there. So I think there is a very important question here, and I think you tried to answer in some way before, and it's about how this data will be used to support the efforts during the now in the rescue missions.
Yeah, I mean, as I was mentioning before, we are not directly involved like as UN mappers because our focus is on the peacekeeping. There are other agencies that are using these data, not only UN but also NGOs. So like everybody can use it, and practically it is used by rescuers. Like they can easily download the maps of the city, like with the building footprints, and understand like which are organize the logistics mainly. So understand what are the areas that are more impacted, and to like estimate, let's say, the amount of let's say like rescuing tools or like tents and these kind of things. I don't know if maybe Sevran, you would like to spend more information about this because you have been involved in the Haiti earthquake in the past. So maybe you can give like some more concrete examples.
Yeah, Haiti earthquake was really old in the time. It was in 2010. But mostly I would say the pre-disaster imagery, data that is made from pre-disaster imagery is interesting to know how many people were established in the area, to have an idea to prepare the recuperation of the area, how many people were living there with the building. If you don't have, for example, any precise population census, this is really a way to evaluate the population, and if you want to rebuild close to what it was, you have an idea of what it was in the beginning. Regarding the collapsed building made with the post-disaster imagery, you can obviously help the people that we try to focus their so either I would say the aid to the most affected area, or also after that try to evaluate what is maybe, for example, not totally demolished and could be actually repaired. So there's different way of using this data in the different times of the humanitarian aid, actually, that with the early emergency, that's the recovery, and then the reconstruction. If you are talking just about the buildings, we are all mapping right now.
Miguel, you're mute.
Sorry. I was suggesting like sometimes I map the building's footprints directly from the roof, and then I move the footprint down below. So it's like, okay, let me repeat here. I just map the roof, add the building tag, and then square it. and then I move it down below because I see the shadow, so I can. Of course, the imagery like is not very resoluted, but at least I mean we can identify the biggest buildings.
Can you show again, Miguel, how you moved the building with the
Yes.
click and so on?
So area, I draw the roof. I add the building tag, to square it, and then to move it, I can either press M, and this will move the footprint. Otherwise, I can right click on the border and click on move. So I can move the footprint at the, let's say, from the roof to the floor level, like here. How do you square it? With Q, the Q key. Otherwise, right on the border as always, and square. This one is already squared, but you can click this button. Like, it's not true that all the buildings are squared. Like this one, for example, is not very squared, but most of them are, and it's good practice to do the squaring. This one is a tall building. You see, I map the roof, building, square, M. I move it to the floor. So the right position for the footprint is here because the building is very tall. And sometimes I can also like count the number of levels, but let's avoid for this time. It's not needed. Just let's map the buildings. Oh, this one is also very high. Map the footprint. Sorry, the roof. Whoop. And I move it down. For example, I see a building here already mapped by somebody else. I square it and I move it down. This one is a unique building. With cancel or delete, I can delete the building. This is a unique structure, so I map it with a unique polygon. Building, square, move. So it's very automatic, like when you get used, it's easy. I don't know if you have any other question, Rachele?
Yes. If there is an area with no purple outlines at all, does that mean they are not mapped? So I don't know if it refers to the AI or to the borders of the task.
Let me cover all the cases. We have this one. So we have a polygon that is white. In this case, the polygon is mapped. So we have the geometry on the chain set, but we don't. It does not like any meaning. It's just a geometry without any explanation. So we have to select the building here to say, okay, this polygon you see is actually a building. It's not, for example, a lake or a wood. It's a building. So that you may find maybe some users that are submitting buildings without any information. So they are submitting only the geometries. In that case, okay, we just correct them. Otherwise, another thing is, yes, as Rachele was saying, probably you see this one, the purple ones, and these are not on OSM. It's just like guessing from AI on Maxar imagery, or being. It depends on the imagery. But you see, for example, this building that we mapped together, I mean, you see the footprint is not really correct. So I prefer to map on my own. It's much quicker, I think, also. This one I can accept and move it. And so on. But only when they are read like this, they are mapped, let's say, in a good way, because they are they have the geometry and they have the building information.
Okay, So another question, can you repeat how to fix the offset of the image and if it is good to do it?
Yes, it's always good to do it. It's just you have to do it on the OpenStreetMap data. And it's also not always needed. Like in this case, for example, I don't need to offset the imagery because it's just fine. But in case I want to do it, I will click here on the right on the layers. And down below this tab background, we have imagery offset. And we can either click on the arrows. So this is moving the, this is like putting small offsets to the imagery. Otherwise, I can click and drag to move the imagery more quickly. But like, okay, the point is that just move it if you really need. Like in this case, I didn't need that much, so I can keep mapping like this.
Okay, so if the rapidity detection already correct, it is already correct in identifying the building, so do we need to click use this feature, or we just have to focus on another purple shapes that are not precisely identified?
No, yes, we have to use this feature. Okay, I can re-explain this one. So if we see the purple building, they are not on OSM. So it's just saying, it's just a suggestion like, okay, you know, there is a footprint for me is like this, fine, for the AI is like this. They say, okay, this one is correct, but I have to click on use these features. Otherwise it won't go on OSM. So I use this feature and then this, of course, the position is incorrect and we move the footprint at the ground level. So in this case, now the feature is on the chainset, not still on OSM, but you see it's like red with the square borders and everything. So that is correct. Let me repeat even how to put on OSM. Just top right here, save. We add your mappers and then added buildings. And I upload. Only if I upload, the data will be on OSM. Otherwise, it's just time spent without any result.
Okay, so do we map any kind of buildings regardless of their use?
I will suggest yes.
Okay, how we can we paste a feature after copying a similar one? Like a copy paste, I guess.
It depends. It depends. Like if there are like I don't know the name in English, but these like buildings like that are built with the same structure one after the other, like in a row. In that case, yeah, you can copy and paste. Otherwise, no. Like
I don't know, I think on ID you can do that. I'm not sure.
Let me verify. So let's say this one. Okay. And
it's like in JOSM, Control V, having pointed the mouse where you want.
okay, yes, thank you, Marco. Is like, okay, I just click on, I select one feature, Control C, sorry, and Control V to paste it. And you see I'm pasting, but it's putting the feature where I have the cursor and I have just to decide the position. So you can do something like this, but I would not suggest this because I mean clearly it's difficult to find two buildings with the same footprint. But in case you have these features like that are all the same all over one area, yeah, of course you can do it.
Okay, can you give us some insight about the time limit in the tasking manager and if we can map again in the same task later?
Upload. Yes. So the time limit once we start mapping, we have 2 hours to map in this task, which is this square that we blocked. For your information, is not blocked on OSM, is blocked in the tasking manager. So somebody else could be mapping ideally in the same area, like at the same time. But anyway, let's say this one is okay. The task is lasting 2 hours. And then if we are not closing, it will be automatically closed by itself. So we have 2 hours time. And regarding the project, some of them, they have deadlines. So they are expiring after some time. I don't know if it is the case here. I don't think so. No. But anyway, that's the thing. Some projects are like, it depends if the project manager is deciding the due date. In this case, you see no due date specified for this one, so it's fine. But these are like more or less the time constraints for the projects.
Yes, and also for the tasks.
Yes.
Okay, in edit feature, we are not writing the building name in the fields, like
No.
demolished building or not?
No, because the building, I mean, if we mean the building name, okay, okay, like in this case, probably, well, I don't know. Here I will just square the buildings because they're not good like this. Okay. Let's select one building. You see name here. This is the name of the building. So it's not, we don't have to use this field to add whatever information we want. It's just if the building is called, I don't know, I don't know, the Empire State Building in New York. Okay, in that case, it has the name, but usually the buildings don't have names, so we don't use this tag. There are other tags. The building collapsed would be here, building equal to collapsed. But we don't know with this imagery, so don't do it. Just put building equal to yes, and everything will be fine. And then the map roulette, I mean, OSM Türkiye for sure will open other projects there and to validate further data. So it's something that is going on, basically. But that's it. Yes, I wanted to show one thing. If we are not using the wrap ID, so everything is like we are using the normal ID, we just we can select more features at once, like the buildings, and we can square them at the same time. So, for example, if I press Q at this point, I'm squaring all the buildings at the same time. If I press M at this point, I'm moving all of them at the same time. So this is how in ID I can do operations on multiple features, even though like I would suggest to do this only when strictly necessary.
Okay. So there are some questions about using Rapid ID mapping with AI on JOSM.
So if you know how to use JOSM, there is a plugin to use it. And
yeah, I'm opening my JOSM. If you can wait 2 minutes, I can show it. In the meantime, you can go on. So is there a way to identify coordinates of where we are on the map?
Identify coordinates on ID? I don't know. Yes, here
Yeah,
in the
you have
URL,
the-
you see, we have the latitude and longitude and also the map scale. Which is, map scale is usually a concept in WebGIS. No, you have the scale instead of like this level. There are several levels. Like the more we zoom out, and the lower is the map scale. Okay, I don't know the how it is defined, but I gave the idea.
So we cannot see where you are pointing, Miguel.
Maybe because
for the coordinate.
I'm doing gestures probably. Is in which context? So I can maybe repeat.
For the coordinates.
Sorry, yes, you are right. In the URL here. So these are the latitude and longitude. But I'm actually at the same same latitude and same longitude in this case, almost 36, 36.
Oh, okay. So sorry, I'm opening JOSM.
I hope you are having fun and learning some things on OpenStreetMap. So let us know if any other question. So yeah, the idea, I mean, we are almost at the end of the event, but the idea is that, okay, now you know the tool more or less, at least the ID editor. So you can go ahead in the weekend if you have like some spare time. Is even funny, you just spend like some time there and you can give an end for the rescuing in this place.
Yeah, sorry, I have some troubles with JOSM, so it's not recognizing the remote control. Just give me some seconds more. So, Mikael, what does a red lock mean?
Red lock in
Never tasking manager.
Let me find it. Yes, red lock. Red lock means that you were editing there the OSM data. You probably exited from the task that you were editing exactly, and that task is still occupied by you. So you probably didn't change the status of the task. So probably you have submitted the change set on OSM. I mean, you may, but you didn't say the task is completely mapped or not completely mapped. So once you are revisiting again the project, that area is still yours until the end of the 2 hours. So you just click there and you can click resume mapping down at the bottom right, if I remember correctly.
Okay, we will have more of these events as we continue to map out areas.
Good question. We are usually organizing, trainings on OSM, especially with local communities. but also with academia, universities, high schools, like we receive requests and we organize trainings. We can also have this kind of mapathons from time to time. I mean, maybe you can schedule one time with those of you that are interested. Maybe, I don't know whether we can also run a poll somewhere, I don't know, on Twitter or other tools to choose like also the time for this kind of event. I don't know, it's like really open to suggestions. As a matter of fact, we have also, yeah, Rachele shared the mail, but I was mentioning we also have the Discord server. So it's like the tool, the channel that we are using for direct communication. So it's like if somebody has some mapping questions, we just meet there and we try to help. And yeah, I'm just reiterate that this is like we usually do peacekeeping. So our main activity, maybe I can show here. Our main activity is to produce topographic data in peacekeeping operation. So we are currently mapping with UN maps in Somalia, Mali, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Central African Republic, and Abyei, which is a region between Sudan and South Sudan. So you see here we have our, let's say, I mean, also, let's say the land cover and the land use is mostly contributed by our internal team, which is doing like an amazing job in producing really, I mean, huge areas of land cover and land use that is like the backbone of our topographic maps. And until now, they have been able to do, I mean, to cover an area like Germany. So it's like huge mapping here. But we also ask from time to time to volunteers to fill in easier data like the roads, the waterways, the villages. So it's like we are trying to mix up these two things. So we have these areas in Somalia, in Democratic Republic of the Congo, we are mapping in the eastern side. We have Central African Republic. So we are producing topographic maps here. And the nice thing is that we are contributing this data for free on OSM, so everybody can access and use it. And at the same way, like on the other way, we are accepting contributions by others and we are ingesting these contributions within our products. So it's like a win-win collaboration. And we have them here, some areas in Mali, as well in the eastern side, but also around Timbuktu. And Abyei, we are editing over the border between Sudan and South Sudan, so here. So this is like our main activity. So in the tasking manager, if you explore projects and you see more filters, you can go on UN Mappers and you will find all our projects at this link. Is there a link for a Discord server? Yes. I can share this one. It has all the social media and also the Discord server. And that's it. Yes.
Miguel, if you want, I'm ready with now.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
So yes, sorry. Okay, so for the mappers that are using JSON, let's see how we can use the AI. Okay, I'm sharing my JSON. So you will need plugin, so you can search for map with AI. Sorry. Okay, here you have two versions. I choose the latest one. Then you click OK and you have the plugin there. So I downloaded a task from Syria, and I can see that there are many buildings here to map. So let's see from where we can start. I will go here just to do a small piece of data. So if I go to the tab data, you will find here that you have the Map with AI option. So you can download the data. So download data. Okay, and we can see here that we have all the buildings downloaded, but they are not in my OSM layer. They are in the Map with AI layer, and we will not be uploading this layer. We want to upload just the OSM data layer. So as you can see, the layer that is active now is the map with AI. So I can work a little bit here. We have all these buildings. So it seems that they are not really aligned with the, all of them are not aligned with the imagery. So to me, in this case, I will not move, of course, all the buildings to align them with the imagery. But what I can do is to move the imagery to align my imagery with the buildings. So I can go here, new offset, and I can place them a little bit more. Okay, like this. So how to map with the AI? So for example, I see here that there is a building that is not here, so I can remove it. I'm not removing the building from OpenStreetMap. I'm just removing it from this layer. Okay, those buildings are not in OpenStreetMap, are just in my JOSM. So I can check. We have some buildings here. I can also go on and, for example, you see, I have this building is, I think the building, there are here 3 buildings, 1, 2, and 3. And I can go here, more tools, split object. So I can put them. Sorry, split object, okay. Let me check. Okay, here with X, I can just move it a little bit. This one, so it's maybe better to do that way. So Alt X, and I will remove this part of the building. Okay, I square it, and I just adjust it a little bit. And the very same here, so I will go this way. I will cut this piece and I will remove this one. So with Q, okay. So now I have 3 buildings. You can see with the building tag, yes, the source, and the map with AI tag. Okay, so to me, these 3 buildings are now ready to be uploaded to OpenStreetMap. So what I can do is to select them. So sorry, I select all these 3 buildings. You can see in my selection. Sorry, I will remove this. My selection, I have 3 buildings selected. I go again to data, map with AI, and I click on, add selected data. And now you can see that they are, if I remove this one, they are on the OSM data layer. And from here, I can check now that the OSM data layer is active, that I have here a land use farm, and oh gosh, I think, okay, we can, okay, this one is the land use farmland, okay, it's a relation. Okay, and then we have here the land use residential, yes. Okay, so we can see here that we have the OSM data and we can upload them from here, and I can add the comment added 3 buildings. buildings and so on, and I can add here the hashtag mappers. I upload my data, and now they are there. So it's pretty easy, and you see that we can modify a lot of things using the map with AI, activate, and so on. So we then work on all the buildings, we adjust them. Once we have adjusted them, we go to data and we select the data and we add this data to the OSM layer. So it's a very useful tool. Okay. Okay, I think it's good for now.
Okay, we are almost at the end of the meeting. I hope you enjoyed and you learned something. And if you want to contribute over the weekend, more than welcome. So you just select the projects on the tasking manager and you can do it. And if you add the hashtag UMappers, we are only happy so that we can track a bit the statistics. And we have to do I will say the picture at the end. Like we usually take a picture like to show, maybe to share even in the social media that we did this big event. So yes. I see people are starting turning on the cameras.
Yeah, and maybe we can share the results of the mapathon on Monday or next week. So to also let you know how it went.
Let's say maybe we are editing in the weekend, and then we can see what we did. I mean, we can count. I mean, we have a database that is counting all the hashtag UNMappers chain sets. So only those will be counted for the time being. Okay, I see many people. I don't know if I have to say cheese or what. But
yes, let me take some screenshots because we have 5 pages, so it will take me. So keep your smile.
So okay. We
no. Okay.
We smile.
Yes. I need to save all the screenshots. Sorry.
See Connor with the Darth Vader.
Yes, maybe Johanna can also help me do that. Okay.
Okay. Tell us when we can stop to smile.
1 second more, please. I see we are a lot, so it's not easy. And yes. I must say that we were really impressed of the response for this mapathon. It's a great cause. Okay.
More appearing. I mean, to my screen. Maybe I can do also some.
Yes. We will do a collage of all these photos.
So.
Okay, I'm just 20 seconds more, please.
And then, of course, in all the pictures, everybody will have the eyes closed. As always.
Like always, no?
Yes. Okay, perfect. I think you had the time, Rachele, to take pictures.
Just 1 second
Last
more.
one.
Yes. Great. Okay, now sorry, because I want that all of you are there. So okay. Okay. So I don't know if Johanna is doing that also, so that we can have all.
Yeah, I do it too. I think it's fine.
Good.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So thank you. And I mean, if you enjoyed, follow us on the social media. Let's keep in touch. Thank you, and have a nice morning, evening, afternoon. Depends on where you are.
Thank you very much, all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.